Hi and welcome to Stories and Stuff. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I set up expectations for writing and presentation. The very first thing I do at the start of the year is a lesson all about how children need to set out their work in their English books. But I'm also really clear with them that that applies to any piece of writing, whether it's in English or learning journals or science. The first thing I do is I make sure my flip chart matches the inside of the exercise books. So you can see these ones have narrow blue lines in a margin, and so does my flip chart paper. So anytime I do a piece of writing, I'm modelling exactly how I want them to set that out in their English books. The other thing I do is make sure that my flip chart matches the other parts of their English book. So in all the English books we have a flip out sound card, GPC card, and at the back we have letter formation, so that when they're writing they've got those open, ready to use. And I have those stuck onto my flip chart so I can actually model how to use those. Otherwise they just become something in a book that the children flip out and they don't really know why. I'll introduce the learning objective, or we call it WALT, we are learning to. So I'll show them how to stick it in, making sure it's the right way up, it's not sticking out the side of the book, and it's nice and neat. I would probably explain to the children what the word present means, but most children probably know a little bit about careful or carefully. I would show them how I want them to stick their WALT in, and I would say, is it going to look like that? No. Is it going to look like that? No. Really clear expectations. And then while they're going off and doing that, I will ask them to think about the meaning of the word carefully. When the children come back to the carpet, we would talk about what carefully means, and I think the most important thing is that it's about doing things with care. And I would definitely model that to the children. I would say to them, when I'm writing a shopping list quickly at home, my writing doesn't look like this. It's quite scruffy, it's quite quick. But when we're doing things in school, in our English books, we're really thinking about what we're doing and we're doing it with care. While the children have been away, I'll start the first part of this piece of work and I'll read this back to them. So this is how we present writing in Year 2. We write on every other line and start each new line at the margin. And we'll talk about what margin means. And I'll show them how each new line, I start right here and I go right to the end of the line. So I'm giving really clear expectations straight away. Then I will model the next piece of writing because I want them to see me writing carefully. I'll give the children something to think about while I'm writing, so they're not only seeing me model the writing, but there's something that they're focusing on. And what I will ask is, what do we do if we make a mistake? So if we make a mistake, we draw a line through it with a ruler and write above it in green pen. It's really important to start talking to children really early about making mistakes. I find that children, very able children that are likely to get greater depth, are really risk averse and don't like the thought of making mistakes. So it's really important very early on, I think, to show that making mistakes, editing, correcting and improving is a really important part of the writing process. So then I will model what that would look like when they've made a mistake. So the things I'm going to model first are how to deal with a spelling error and to do with a lowercase that should have been a capital. And I will model with a ruler, so it's really clear to the children what I want them to be doing when they make mistakes. And I'll show them how to hold that ruler down, draw a line through it, and then write the correct version above. And then I'll tell them this is the name Sam, can they spot anything wrong with it? I don't need them to draw a line right through this, they can just go over the lowercase with their green pen. Now again, this would vary from school to school, I'm just showing you how I model the things that are specific to my school. We always write neatly with small spaces between our words, so I'm setting those expectations again that there will be spaces between words, but I'm making sure they're not, absolutely huge. The next part is about modelling a really important writing behaviour that I want them to learn to do very quickly. What I'll do when I finish that, I will model really carefully how to read back what is actually on the page, not what I think I've written, but what I've actually written on the page. This is really important. So if we read it back together, we'll spot some errors. When we finish, we read back carefully. If we miss something or want to improve it, we add this with green pen. Some of it doesn't sound quite right. So I'm going to show the children now how to correct those errors. If I've missed out a word, I want to add one in, I'll show them how to do that with the green pen. And I'll explain this is why we miss every other line, so we've got that room to make those corrections. Finally, I will give every child a copy of what we've just done on the board to go and stick carefully in their English books. And this is just more practice about sticking things in carefully, and it also sets up in their English book my expectation of how things are going to look. In the next video, I'll show you how I start to introduce the marking symbols I use to children so they can start responding to marking feedback quite quickly. I hope that's useful. If you liked it, click like and subscribe for more ideas soon.